In the news this week, Scotland's Deputy First Minister warns local authorities that advice given by named persons is just optional. People with Down syndrome challenge misconceptions about their lives, and guesthouse owner Peter Bull has died peacefully in hospital aged 76. Hello. Scotland's Deputy First Minister John Swinney has warned local authorities to make it clear that any advice offered by state guardians is merely optional. A statement released at the weekend urges local authorities and health boards to take care to reiterate the voluntary nature of any advice, information, support or help offered by the named person. The statement is the first indication that the Scottish Government is heeding last week's Supreme Court ruling against the controversial named person scheme. The ruling said parents could feel obliged to accept advice from named persons, believing that failure to cooperate would be used as evidence that their child was at risk of harm. But the judges warned an assertion of such compulsion, whether express or implied, and an assessment of non-cooperation as evidence of such a risk could well amount to an interference with the right to respect for family life. Local authorities have also been told by the UK Information Commissioner's Office to review their pilot schemes to ensure they are not breaking the law. As Mr Swinney began talks with representatives from local authorities, the police and children's charities this week, he quickly came under fire for failing to include opponents of the plans or parents. A spokesman for the No to Name Persons campaign said the group was disappointed Mr Swinney is only consulting with those who support the scheme. Perhaps the government should show some common sense and speak to people at the sharp end of the scheme, ordinary mums and dads and those who represent them. A Christian baker who declined to produce a wedding cake for a same-sex couple is taking his case to the US Supreme Court. Jack Phillips politely turned down the order at his bakery in Colorado. He was then sued by the two men involved. His lawyers say he was simply using his freedom to decline to use his artistic talents to promote a message and event with which he fundamentally disagrees. Speaking to Alliance Defending Freedom, Phillips explained the reason for declining the order.
It's my pleasure to sell them cookies and cakes and birthday cakes and brownies. It's not their lifestyle that I'm accused of turning away, but that's not what it was. It was the event that I'm being forced to celebrate. It's not just the cakes for the same-sex weddings. I haven't singled out that one issue as something that I won't do. I also don't make cakes for bachelor parties. I don't make Halloween cakes or anything involving witchcraft or demons. Sometimes it seems like I've turned down more cakes in a day than I've taken orders for.
Jeremy Tedesco, Senior Counsel for ADF, called on government to protect the people's freedom to follow their beliefs personally and professionally, not force them to violate those beliefs as a price of earning a living. Peter Bull, the guesthouse owner whose legal battle to defend biblical marriage went all the way to the Supreme Court, has died peacefully in hospital aged 76. Peter and Hazel Mary had run a B&B from their home in Cornwall for 30 years, always seeking to act in line with their Christian beliefs. They welcomed anyone to their home, but consistently declined to let double rooms to unmarried couples, a stance which led to legal action from a same-sex couple. Throughout the legal case, they were supported by the Christian Institute's Legal Defence Fund. Although the Bulls lost the case, their Christian witness has challenged people across the UK to remain faithful to the Lord Jesus in their own workplaces. In 2014, Peter and Hazel Mary spoke to the Christian Institute's Simon Calvert ahead of their 50th wedding anniversary. Peter explained the secret to the longevity of their marriage.
There is so many things. It's love. It's consideration for each other, it's helping each other. If one person is sick, it's looking after them. Which again, either way, it is just a companionability between two people who are, well, in my way, made for each other. The Lord stepped in. We met, we weren't Christians, we weren't saved. The Lord stepped in and put this woman in front of me, and I thought I'd like to marry her sometime.
A Thanksgiving service will be held for Peter on Saturday the 13th of August in Carnell Green, Cornwall. And finally, people with Down syndrome have responded to common misconceptions about their lives in a short feature by BBC Three. A 5-minute video called Things People with Down Syndrome Are Tired of Hearing shows 6 people battling misapprehensions about their relationships, learning ability and employment status.
People with Down syndrome can't learn. Yeah. All right then.
Yeah. Yes, they can. Maybe sometimes they might need a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
I've got qualifications in customer service, qualifications in hairdressing.
I passed all 10 of my GCSEs.
People with Down syndrome are just normal people.
People sometimes do come out with words like Down syndrome sufferer. The only thing that I suffer from is bad attitudes.
Those with Down syndrome can't have jobs.
Well, that's wrong.
Of course they can.
Yeah, of course they can.
Yeah.
I've had so many different jobs.
I work in a hair salon and I love it.
Went through retail, office work.
Recent figures show 92% of babies diagnosed with Down syndrome before birth in England and Wales are aborted. Well, that's all from us in the week that the Christian Institute officially turns 25. As always, for regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.